guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to do 5 things that I have learned my first year of teaching. This has been my first full year of teaching on my own with my own classroom, my own students, my own curriculum, making my own lesson plans and all that stuff. So I have learned quite a bit over that period of time. But what I am going to be doing today is actually taking the time to break it down and tell you my 5 most important things I have learned my first year of teaching. So if you are a new teacher or you are going to be a teacher, or even if you're an experienced teacher and kind of want to take a walk down memory lane and step inside the shoes of a new teacher and kind of reminisce on how your first year as a teacher was, then just stay tuned. So do not forget to subscribe and comment and share, and also if you are a teacher, please leave some comments down below and let me know some of the things that you have learned as being an educator. The first thing that I have learned in my first year of teaching is the fact that there is no such thing as breaks when you are a teacher. Right now I'm actually on spring break, and although I do have a week away from school, I'm still struggling to make sure that I get papers graded that I have got behind on, thinking about what I need to get into when we get back, and we have a few weeks before testing, so I'm not just sitting here kind of laid back and enjoying the break. I am continuously thinking about what I need to do for the next week, or what papers I need to grade to hand back to my students and all that good stuff. So my breaks pretty much consist of still working but not having to be at the actual school location. The second thing that I learned my first year of teaching is how important it is to have a mentor and resources that you can go to just to help you along the way. So right now I have a few mentors that I kind of look up to, and one in particular, and me and him have become really great friends, but he is also a freshman English teacher. And for like the first few weeks, I did not want people to think that I did not know what I was doing and that I was not completely capable of running a classroom on my own. So I was very hesitant about asking for help or lesson plan ideas or anything like that. I quickly learned that in order for me and him to stay on the same pace, especially since we were both freshman English teachers, I quickly learned how important it is that we mesh together and we work together and we share lesson plans and we share ideas. There is absolutely no shame in asking for help when you need it, or just going across the hall and being like, hey, I'm going to teach this particular standard. Is there anything that you have that might help me reach my students better, or might be a more fun and exciting way to teach this? I think that this is absolutely important, because it's not you not being able to do your job, it's showing others that you are willing to ask for help so you can be the overall best teacher that you can be. The third thing that I have learned in my first year of teaching is that you are absolutely going to make mistakes, but most importantly, make sure that you are holding accountability for these mistakes. So my first semester of teaching, I really wanted to teach argumentative writing and everything that goes with argumentative writing. I talked to my mentor a little bit about it, and he had his suggestions, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to go a different route and do it differently, and he was completely okay with that. He was like, I'm just going to let you know this would be my suggestion, but it's trial or error for you, and I want you to do things the way you want to. It's your classroom, run it the way that you want to. So of course, it being my first semester of teaching, and I previously told you guys that I was a little bit like, about asking for help, I did things exactly my way, and boy did I learn from it. Because I did not teach argumentative the way that I exactly wanted to, I ended up having to go back to it this second semester to hit it, so that way I could make sure to cover my standard fully. This was a mistake that I personally had made. I kind of tried to push the standard on them a little too hard at first and jump the gun a little bit, and be like, we're writing an argumentative paper, this is what it should look like. Here's you an example, this is your, your basic with argumentative paper, here's your topic, get to typing. I quickly learned that I was not giving them enough guidance. So when I had to go over it again, I made sure to give them that guidance. However, this was wasted time in my classroom. Because if I would have covered it correctly the first time, then I would have had enough time to cover another standard with a little bit more detail than I was originally able to do. So not only are you going to make mistakes, but it's also very important that you learn from your mistakes. The fourth thing that I have learned from being a first-year teacher is that you are not going to be able to reach every single student. This one hits me in the heart so much because whenever I decided that I wanted to be a teacher, my first thought was that I was going to be able to connect with every single one of my students. I'm going to go in, all my students are going to absolutely love me and want to do exactly what I tell them to do, even the ones that might have trouble at home or that most teachers have trouble with, the troublemakers in school. They're going to love me and they're going to do so well in my class because I'm going to make English so much fun and they are just going to be so excited to be there. I think that this lesson hit me more so probably late first semester, the beginning of second semester. And this is because I slowly started to realize that there are some kids that they do not want to do the work. No matter how great of a teacher you are, no matter how fun you try to make your subject, they are going to want to do things their way or no way, or actually more likely than not do anything at all. This is really disheartening because you watch movies like Freedom Writers and Dead Poet Society and movies like that, and you just think all these kids really need is someone to love them and care for them and guide them in the right direction. This is going to be true for some students, but it's not going to be true for all students. This really hit me in the heart because I think that I had such high expectations for myself and for my students going in. So when I realized that not all students want that for their life, and there's no way that you can force that upon them. The only thing that you can do is be the absolute best teacher that you can be. Show them that you're there for them no matter what. Be a role model and provide them with guidance. And if they follow suit, then that is great. If not, you just have to kind of continue on and hopefully hope that one day they mature enough to want to have these better things for themselves. The fifth thing that I have learned, and I'm kind of combining a few things into this one, is that your students have absolutely high expectations of you. I learned this very quickly actually because I realized that my students are going to hold me accountable. If I say I'm going to do something, they expect me to do that. If I say I'm going to write you up for being a disruption in class, they expect that. They're still children, so they're still learning what they can and cannot get away with. So as a teacher, if you tell them that you are going to do something, then they expect it at that time, no questions asked, because this is where they're kind of learning to either trust you or mistrust you. So for example, if I tell them, guys, I'm going to have your vocabulary test graded by Friday, on Friday, you can bet your butt that they are asking me, Ms. Charlton, did you have our test graded? And if I do not, then they're like, oh, well, why don't you have our test graded? You said you were going to have our test graded. I don't understand why you don't have this done. So they have high expectations of you. And it's up to you to make sure that you are living up to those expectations. And that goes, the same for them. You have to also have high expectations for them because this is learned behavior. They are learning to act the way that you allow them to act in your classroom. I also learned with student expectations that there are some students that expect you to be absolutely everything in the world to them. They expect you to be a teacher, a mentor, a friend, a guidance counselor, a consoler, a coach, a disciplinary, an ally, an advice giver, an inspiration, a parent, and so many other things. They are expecting you to do that. And it's up to you as an educator to try your best to live out to every single one of those expectations for them. There are so many students out there that just do not get that at home, or they feel ignored, or they do not feel like they are being heard. I've had so many students come up to me and share their stories, and some of them are extremely heartbreaking. Some of them are very happy. I mean, I have students that come to me and tell me about their love life. They tell me about their home life. They tell me why they're struggling in school. They tell me that what's going on their sports teams, that they're thinking about dyeing their hair. I mean, there's so many things that go from like being, less importance to high importance for them. And it's up to you to make sure that you are being an ear for them at all times, and you are just being the best role model that you can possibly be in and outside of that classroom. So guys, these are just 5 things that I have learned at my first year of teaching, and I could go on and tell you so much more that I have learned, but these were just some things that kind of stuck out to me that I really wanted to share with you. So if you are a first year teacher, or you are going to be a first year teacher, please let me know what you have learned in your first year, or what you are excited to learn, or hopefully this video may have given you some sort of guidance into your first year of teaching. If you are an experienced teacher, please leave me some tips and tricks that you have learned throughout your career as an educator, because I am always willing to learn and, try to become the best teacher that I can be. And so I'm always open for suggestions and critiques and all that stuff. So please leave your comments down below as well. But thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my spring break. We have testing coming up very soon, so that's another stress that's been on my mind. But thank you guys. Please comment, like, share, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.